Hello everyone, and welcome back to Future Cities. This week, we will present you to the topic of building construction. In the first segment, I will introduce you to global construction approaches in the context of the information city. In the next two segments, Dirk Hebel will present the growing interest in the globalization of the material flows in construction and renovating cities, and researching bamboo as part of a composite that could become an important building material. Construction involves the finding, processing, transporting, and assembling of material. This process changes the place where the material was found, the place where it is finally used, and all the places in between, but to a lesser degree. Construction used to be a localized activity, but with the advancement of construction processes and construction materials, almost every building contains components of a globalized economy. The construction process becomes more knowledge-intensive, and the necessity of architects, designers, and territorial planners to understand construction as a crucial stocks and flows process of the urban system increases. Information technology, information architecture, and the information city concept provide for the first time the opportunity to visualize and follow the life cycle of any material, building, part, building equipment, or even entire buildings. Construction is a typical example of material flows around the world and probably one of the most energy and CO2 intensive activities. The result of construction is a building, a material stock. Yet the building's life cycle energy consumption and CO2 production by far exceeds the amount of energy that went into its original production. The construction site of a building or a city determines the sustainability and resilience of a building to a high degree. Given the right of choice, one could place buildings in locations where they produce more resources than they consume and could become sustainable structures over time. An example is the area around Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. However, a system of restrictions protecting other aspects of the human habitat often limits this choice to positioning a building intelligently on a small site or in high-rises to floor level and orientation. Early construction took the material directly from the vicinity of the construction site. Clay, stone, and wood in various variations were chosen in temperate climates. Protected from rain and ground moisture, even organic materials could last for centuries. It was and still is the knowledge about the behavior of the material over time that determines its sustainability. This way, old timber frame buildings can have an extremely small carbon footprint. The challenge is to connect them to modern standards of living. Choosing the right construction site in the tropics involved, like in temperate climates, protection from the elements and from the enemies, as well as access to water, food, and transportation. The absence of snow and frost offers more possibilities than in temperate climates. In these areas, water plays a decisive role as it is constantly available as a convenient stock and flow, providing for food and mobility. Construction sites can be created artificially if the ideal site cannot be found otherwise. San Francisco, for example, created much artificial land to house part of the city. The same is true on a large scale for Hong Kong, Shanghai, or Singapore. Given that all criteria for settlement are perfect in a certain location, but no land is available, it is possible, with technical means, to create this land. The sustainability and resilience of this approach needs to be explored, however. The end of a building often reveals the best view on the construction of the structure. In countries and cities where building materials are valuable for economic reasons, careful recycling of building materials is also important for ecological reasons, so every building is taken apart carefully, piece by piece. Almost turning it into an archaeological site, the recycling of buildings has turned into an art. Yet this practice is already known for at least 3,000 years. Construction used to be simple. There were two major approaches: subtractive construction by carving material out of existing rock or earth, or additive construction by adding material and building elements. Today, the additive approach is dominating, and most technical construction support tools are geared towards sophisticated addition of layers. Nevertheless, the construction process shows another aspect of the building as a system. Material, function, and process are hyperlinked as part of the entire building system. This system can be represented in an abstract form as information.